So, what is the first thing that you think about when you think of idols? Now, if you're a fan of VeggieTales, like immediately you think of a big piece of chocolate. I think that was the movie that I can think of. Anyway, you have all these different ideas that you wrap your mind around, like Moses in the losing his cool of all losing his cool, breaks the first set of the 10 Commandments when he comes down from the mountain and he sees all his people worshiping a golden calf. I mean, like, he loses his cool. He has to go back up the mountain and ask God to re-engrave the stones of the 10 Commandments so he can come back down and begin to work out those things with those folks, because he just lost it. I mean, can you imagine for just a minute? Like, he's coming down with these tablets, and they're like, whoa, Moses met with God. He's got something important. Oh, my gosh. He just shattered it. We are in serious trouble. What comes to mind when you think of idols? What comes to mind? We may begin to think about a television series or a movie where people are worshiping something like an actual image or a statue, something gold or carved out of wood or stone or whatever. We immediately think of those kind of things. And those things are worshipped, even in our culture, even in our day. Those images, those things that are a physical, tangible, touchable thing, those are definitely worshipped. But there are other things that are worshipped. There are other idols. Idols of prominence, idol of position, idols of pride, idols of appearance, idols of your television or your video games, idols of other individuals. And all these different idols are something that we have so wrapped our mind around and so fixated our attention on that they are robbing us of experiencing the will of God. We may think that finding a focal point of some kind will get us towards where we want to be. It will help eliminate the weight. And so we create idols, we create other things that we begin to worship. We create these things that we want so bad, that we crave so bad, that we begin to exalt them in places above ourselves, above God, above everything else. And these things that we crave so deeply and passionately become the very thing that has our entire heart's affection, has our entire heart's desire, has our entire heart within itself. It has captured us. It has taken hold of us. It has gripped us. Whether you're trying to escape reality by immersing yourself in a video game, or immersing yourselves in a weekend binge of a television series, or you begin to worship something by your action of furthering education, or in your action of furthering fitness. Now, some of these things are not by nature unhealthy. They're not by nature bad. They're not by nature something that we shouldn't do. I mean, we should get healthy. We should try to elevate ourselves in the workforce. We should try to educate. We should try to do those things. But what happens when those things take hold of us and they steal our affections? Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 talks about leaning on God, leaning on His, not leaning on our own understanding, but acknowledging God, and that He directs paths. He leads us. He guides us. He brings us to this place where the road or the path or whatever it is illuminated so we know where to go. Whether or not you feel like you are moving at all, you are making progress of some kind. You may be stuck and not going forward and feel like you're not accomplishing anything. That patience is growing, that patience is increasing, that there's a development in your heart of something so critical and so important, because you're not leaning on your own understanding, you're acknowledging Him and He's directing you. You've got to find those things that have stolen your affections. You've got to find those things that have taken hold of you, that are robbing from the things that are important, the things that are critical, the things ultimately God Himself, ultimately Jesus Christ, the things that have gripped you. Idols, man, they're real. They're serious. They're controlling us. If you want to experience the perfect, wonderful, amazing will of God, tear those things down. Tear those things down and worship Him fully, Jesus Christ.